You wanted the best. You've got the best podcast. The hottest podcast in the world. The Chris Voss Show, the preeminent podcast with guests so smart you may experience serious brain bleed. The CEOs, authors, thought leaders, visionaries, and motivators. Get ready. Strap yourself in. Keep your hands, arms, and legs inside the vehicle at all times, because you're about to go on a monster education roller coaster with your brain. Now, here's your host, Chris Voss.
Hi, folks. It's Voss here from thechrisvossshow.com, thechrisvossshow.com. Welcome to the show. How are you doing, my family and friends? We certainly appreciate you guys coming by the show and supporting us for 14 years, 1,500 episodes, 2 to 3 new shows a weekday. What is that, 10 to 15 a week? And God knows how many it is. What more do you people want from me before you're free at the show to your family, friends, and relatives? But go to goodreads.com/Chris Voss, LinkedIn.com/Chris Voss, and YouTube.com/Chris Voss. Subscribe to the big LinkedIn newsletter, 130,000 LinkedIn group over there as well. So anyway, folks, thanks for joining us. We always love having you guys. And today we're going to be talking about health. Now, health is one of those things that you've been putting off for years, taking care of as you go through the McDonald's drive-thru, eat horrible foods, drink horrible liquids, and then you end up looking like me. I'm a poster child for what not to do. I used to drink half a bottle of vodka a night for 20 years and 10 to 15 Mountain Dews a day. Ate at all the worst restaurants, places. I mean, I ate good restaurants, but I ate all the worst food. And now I'm me. So when you look at me through the cameras, sit and go, the last thing no one should be like Chris. The more you know, that's the PSA. Don't be like Chris. We have an amazing gentleman on the show. He's the CEO of a company called Activation Products. Ian Clark joins us on the show today. And you know what he's going to do? He's going to help you not end up like Chris. 55, fat, old, ugly, and what else can you say about me? I mean, there's a lot of four-letter expletives, but we'll move on. Ian is, when he was 45 years old, he watched his life turn from bad to good. He fell in love with nature and watched it turn his life around completely. He's 65 years old, looks young as hell on the screen to me, and he feels healthier more than ever. He started and launched his company that he's a founder of, and he's also termed as a father, evidently, as a title over there. They give you titles of father. I want to be father at my office. Everyone just keeps calling me stupid, so I guess I'll go with that. But he went through a number of life-threatening health issues that hit him all at once, and he started searching for solutions. And he found a natural path to fixing his health, traveling the globe, and uncovering potent remedies with powerful natural health benefits. Welcome to the show, Ian. How are you?
I'm doing very well, Chris. Good to be here.
There you go, Ian. Give us a .com so people can find you on the interweb, sir.
It's the activationproducts.com is the easiest way, and plus I'm on some social media platforms under Ian Activated or Ian Clark Activated. Can be found fairly easily.
There you go. And we're having a beer contest on the show, so I want you guys to make sure you watch YouTube so you can try and decide who has the better beard. And it's Ian, of course. He's won already. There you go. So, Ian, tell us about your company. Give us a 30,000 overview of what you guys do and how you do it.
Well, yeah, the company was birthed as a result of learning the definitive things that pretty much everyone is missing in the natural health world. And we're an odd duck, but we're very unique.
There you go.
So we actually are a value-add manufacturer. So we go from raw material all the way through to finished product. Mm-hmm. And I didn't allow hardly any products into the line because there are hundreds of thousands of natural products in the world. And everyone thinks that you need to take whatever they have, and everybody says that their glop is better than my glop and whatever. It's one of those industries that is extremely congested and full of all kinds of diverse ideas about multiple different things. It competes with the pharmaceutical industry, and I have very little interest in that. I was in a situation where I had no knowledge about how to support my body's ability to stay healthy and was going to lose my body at around 49 years old.
Wow.
I hit the wall, like you said, around 45, 46. And I was just in a situation where I knew that my doctors didn't know what was going on. They wanted to do surgery. I knew that I didn't know what was going on. But I knew that there were people on Earth somewhere, and I didn't know how to find them. I didn't know who they were or where they were, but I knew they existed, who had the information that I required to be able to get my body to continue living. And so, when you're starting out with 36 months left to live, you need to use that 36 months to get 60 months.
Mm-hmm.
And if you can get 60 months, then you need to use that to get 120 months and so on. So fortunately, I was able to run into the correct people at the time frame, kind of like climbing up a ladder.
Wow.
Because I had, like I was at a kindergarten level and I wouldn't be able to hear a PhD. So fortunately, I was able to just do enough things to keep extending things.
Mm-hmm.
Eventually, that brought in a very significant amount of revenue. Because when I found out about two things that really made a difference when you consumed them, and they're all nutrient based, I shared that with some people, and all of a sudden we were selling millions of dollars worth of that.
Oh, wow.
And we didn't even have a proper company set up. We had no marketing, no sales. I was just telling influential people about it, and then they would just share that with their group, and everybody got results, and these two little products made a very big impact.
Wow. Do you want to share with us your diagnosis? Was it cancer, or what was the ailment that struck you?
Yeah, the diagnoses were, I had a large tumor in between my legs at the bottom of my abdomen attached to my colon. It was pressing up against my prostate, but it was not part of the prostate. I also had heart disease, what they said was heart disease. I also had liver problems so off the rails that when I was tested, the technician said, you got to go to emergency right now.
Holy crap.
And, and I didn't want to listen to this stuff because when I was 20 years old, my two uncles on my mom's side died at 51 and 54 years old, 2 days apart, September 1978. They did exactly what the doctors told them, and they died right on time.
Oh, wow.
So I was just not interested in that. My oldest brother was a medical doctor for 30 years. And I would call him when things would come up. At this particular time, I was talking to him directly. And he told me that it was all genetic predisposition. There's nothing I could do about it. It's just the way it is. I even looked like my one uncle, Don, who passed at 51. But I was only 46, and it was 2004. And my attitude was like, there's got to be by now someone who doesn't just tell you got to have surgery, tell you have cancer, heart disease. Because I just wasn't interested in that. And it was scary.
Yeah.
So, I was just able to shake that off. I got away from the doctors because I told them I'd rather die at my own hands than at your hands if I'm going to die.
Yeah.
And I didn't have any interest in dying. So I was at a situation where I just slowly but surely met the people who could give me some information. And that was how it began.
There you go.
After $90 million of investment, building out like research and development, just finding the truth that I knew nobody knew, putting the manufacturing together, making sure that the right raw materials were in place. I finally stumbled onto what I call 3 keys, and they're simple. They're not a massive lifestyle change because I noticed, like, if you want to go to math and statistics, all you got to do is look at the mainstream. Look at the numbers. The average age in North America is 74 to 77 years old. That's basically across the board. That's not health conscious people. That's people who just go down the road and they enjoy their life. They do whatever they feel like. And that's the average age. Then I stood back and I looked at the so-called health conscious people who are spending a lot of time, energy, and money on supplements, eating certain clean foods, exercising, meditating, which is all great. But their average age is 75 to 81.
So you
get a very little bit of a difference.
Yeah.
And I noticed a bunch of the health gurus who I was listening to over the years, they were dropping off in their mid-70s.
Wow.
Yeah. So what was the point of that?
Note to self, go back to McDonald's. No, I'm just kidding.
Well, the note to self became to me, sit back and what do we do the most of? Mm-hmm. Because if we're, I don't eat that much food. You don't really eat that much food. You don't drink that much fluid. Mm-hmm. The things you do a lot of is you think. You have quadrillions of thoughts every millisecond that are automatic in the background. You have your subconscious thoughts, which is your programming, what you believe to be true or not. Then you have your conscious thinking of your day-to-day activities. Mm-hmm. So that's pretty major.
Yeah.
The second thing that you do the most of is you breathe air. You're breathing 11,000 liters of air a day.
I'm tired already now.
Yep. It's 4 million liters a year. But you do that effortlessly. Think about it.
That's true.
It's effortless. When you're sleeping, you're breathing. It's an effortless thing. And it's a non-negotiable. You're not going to stop breathing anytime soon.
Yeah. Well, hopefully not. I mean, that's...
That's right.
That's why you and I are talking.
That's right. Exactly. So we get our breath to move.
Make sure we can keep people breathing, eh?
Yep. And the third thing we do the most of is we pump our blood. So we only have 5 liters of blood in our body. And in one 24-hour period, we pump 7,600 liters of blood through 10,000 kilometers of cardiovascular system.
That's like a gym workout.
Yeah.
Well, why do I have to go in the gym, eh?
It's effortless. you don't have to try to do it. It's automatic. But that's the reality. So in order to keep you on this call and keep me on the call, we have to have nutrients from the air we breathe, from the food we've eaten, and the fluids we've drank, delivered to every single cell 24/7 to be able to be spent, turning it into energy, and then all the waste material is supposed to be carried out again. Mm-hmm. So why is the body wearing out and dying? Why are people getting shoulder replacements, hip replacements, knee replacements? Why are they suffering with all kinds of disease? Why is it when you're 20, your kidney function is 100%, but when you're 60, your kidney function is 35%? Mm-hmm. Well, that's just normal, but it's not normal. That's ridiculous. It is not cool. Who wants 35% kidney function at 60? I don't.
It's not fun. I think I watched my dad go through that.
Exactly. I have 100% kidney function and I'm 65. Mm-hmm. And that's not by accident.
There you go.
So all I did was stand back, look at the numbers and go, I don't think anybody knows what's going on. So what is in the air you breathe? Well, the air in between you and your screen is nice and clear. Mine's clear.
Yeah.
Seems pretty good. Doesn't have any odors to it. But inside the air, when I started to look at the scientific data, not pseudoscience, but actual mathematical scientific realities, I realized that what we're breathing is what terminates you. Because the air has nanoparticulate in it. It's called particulate matter. Mm-hmm. It comes from 1,000 different things that are suspended in the air. But I'll give you a couple of examples so that you can relate to it immediately. Mm-hmm. In the United States, every year, the number of tire sales that they sell and the amount of rubber that wears off those tires is around 10 billion pounds of rubber dust. Wow. But you don't see it anywhere. You don't see it on the road at all. But they know you sell tires, the treads are that thick, that wide.
Goes somewhere, right?
Yeah. It goes 1.5 miles above every highway. The tires are made of rubber, cotton, resins, epoxies, plastics, metals, and chemicals. Mm-hmm. And they're floating. So you're not only breathing them, you're also consuming them because it goes over every lake and mountain and forest and farmer's field and everywhere. Mm-hmm. And that's just one thing.
Yeah.
Right. It's an abrasive, and they're actual nano razor blades is what they look like when you look at them under a nanoscope.
Wow.
So that's not your fault. You didn't create that.
Yeah. Wasn't my idea.
But you're breathing it. So I noticed that my body was wearing out. I had bad knees. I had injuries when I was in my 20s. I worked in the oil field for 17 years. Mm-hmm. I was exposed to a whole ton of heavy metals like lead, cadmium, mercury, a lot of it. And that accumulation, plus I had fungal infections. Like fungus is such a total pain in the ass because you could walk into an old building and not even know that you're breathing the spores that are going to colonize inside of you, creating tumors.
Oh, wow.
That's where a lot of, infections come from. Mm-hmm. So when you're breathing, your lungs have a surface area. You can look it up online. When they've looked at the surface area of one set of lungs is 260 square kilometers or 100 square miles of surface that the air goes into and goes instantly into the bloodstream. The bloodstream carries it out, and then it's supposed to eliminate. So you breathe in the air with oxygen, you breathe out the air with CO2. The problem is you're breathing all this nano crap. What about brake dust, all the brakes that are wearing off on vehicles? What about fuel? And in the last 30 years, they started cremating in crematoriums all the human bodies. About 85% of human bodies are cremated now. So what your body is doing right now is it's accumulating all this nano garbage and until you're dead. If they take your body and burn it, they don't let the ash go out of the stack, but they off gas all of that nanoparticulate matter out of your body, out the stack, and just go on Google and see where the crematoriums are. They're in your neighborhood. You're surrounded by them. Funeral homes and crematoriums, that's where they dispose of bodies. So some brainchild came up with the idea of burning the bodies so that we can now breathe the accumulation. 24 hours a day, they're burning bodies, right? 164,000 people die every day on the earth. So that sucks. At any rate, that's all the bad news. The good news is that you can fix it, but nobody has the answer on how to fix it except for a few people. And I happen to be one of them now because I had to go back to mathematics and science, not the pseudosciences. You don't ever hear people talk in the news about this. You don't ever hear the health gurus talk about this stuff. So your blood is something that you have in your body that you're circulating constantly. That is what you have to clean up in order to have it transport things efficiently in and out. But your liver and your kidneys can't keep up. The first passage is your liver. And when the liver keeps plugging up and becoming inefficient, then the kidneys become plugged up and inefficient. That's why you end up with 35% kidney function at 60. Right? Not your fault. It has nothing to do with the food you're eating, nothing to do with the fluid you're drinking per se. It's what you've been breathing. So you have to, your body and my body, everyone's body on this earth is a production facility. And what does it produce? It produces hormones. It produces energy. And most importantly, it produces blood. But when you don't have the raw material your body requires to produce clean blood, then the blood keeps getting more and more contaminated until you're plugged up and you're congested and you're dead.
Wow.
Right. Now, if you're genetically predisposed to putting up with that crap for longer than somebody else, you might live till 100, but 100 is nothing. It's really nothing. That everybody, oh, wow, you lived to 100. Congratulations. I don't think so. I think it's ridiculous. Because you want to continue to live in a high quality body because it feels great. It's functional. You don't lose your sex drive. You don't lose your functionality. You don't lose brain power at all when you have a body that is functioning correctly. Therefore, why would you want to bother to die? You wouldn't die if your body is at a high quality of health every day and it gets better. So, you're 55, you said, right? So I'm 65. That's just a number. That means that I have 10 years longer than you do to have gotten better, or 10 years longer than you do to have gotten worse. Most of society believes that the older you get, the worse you should be. It's just a fact. And it's what I call the death culture. We're little kids. We watch our grandparents get old and die. Then we become adults and we watch our parents get old and die. And now it's our turn. Because that's the common sense idea that we see validated around us every single day. I found out that to be the absolute fallacy based upon misinformation because I did not know what was going on. No one told me. I had to go step back and look at true data and not listen to all the gurus and all these so-called experts anymore, because all they're trying to do is get you to follow them and follow what they teach in order to make money and have popularity and power. That's about it.
There you go.
They're all dropping like flies. They say, oh, I'm going to live till 150. I'll live to 200. Really? Doing what? Oh, well, it's the food that I eat. It's these supplements I take. It's this machine I go on. That's total garbage. That's not the truth.
So how does one go about, making better blood and, making sure things are getting filtering right? Do I need to, I don't know, set up an IV and then just put like a strainer on it or something? Or?
Well, that would be one approach where you could constantly have clean blood put into your system through intravenous, like these rock stars that abuse
do the rock star crazy
and they go get blood transfusions. Like that is disgusting. Can you imagine having to do that?
Oh no, the recovery from it.
Right. So I look at our manufacturing facility. We produce physical products.
Mm-hmm.
If we didn't have raw material coming on trucks to our building constantly to feed the machines to produce the products, I don't care how good a machinery we got. I don't care how smart we are, how much money we got. We're not going to be producing anything.
Mm-hmm.
Your body is exactly the same. You can't produce clean blood without the raw materials required to produce the clean blood.
Mm-hmm.
So I found out that the blood is made up from electrolytes. It's called plasma.
Oh.
And all of the food we eat, everybody goes, well, my food's got lots of minerals in it, and I drink mineral water, and I do all this stuff. Well, good for you. You're dying just like everybody else right on time.
Damn.
Why? Because the distilled water called rain has been raining on our earth for thousands and thousands of years. And that distilled water is hungry and it's a solvent. It falls on the earth and it washed all of the minerals out of the soil over the thousands of years into the water table below, into the streams, rivers, and tributaries. And all of it went out to the ocean. It's all gone. And it's all in the ocean.
Wow.
The ocean water, the seawater, has sea salt in it. Sea minerals, we'll call it. And when you go to the ocean and get the sea minerals from a pure place, which is abundantly available, and you put it into liquid, which is what is in this little glass that I drink all day, which is sea minerals at a certain concentration level, you simply drink it. Now you have the raw material to produce clean blood. The clean blood allows your body's intelligence to tell your body to dump dirty blood because you have an abundance. Because I'm producing this clean blood now all the time. Until I started doing this, I was just like everybody else going down the wrong rabbit hole. And my health was not getting better every year. It was getting worse a little bit. But that little bit adds up to a lot after 25 years.
Oh, yeah.
Right. Now, my body and my health gets better and better and better every single day. So the older I get, the better I become. Healthier, more flexible, more mobile, more agile, smarter, definitely a lot smarter. Every function, like all the biological functions of my system are excellent. I'm out of health, not chasing around my tail trying to be healthy and telling you can't eat this and you can't drink that and you can't do this, right? Because people want to enjoy life. They want to do things that are enjoyable, that make them feel good. So I found out that there are things that make you feel good that have a price attached to them because they're stimulants, a price that I can't afford. But I found out there are better things that make me feel even better that have a reward attached to them. So like people drink alcohol because they want to feel good. They're not bad people. They just want to feel good. But they've been conditioned to think that that's the best thing they could do. But the alcohol is a diuretic. And that diuretic removes fluid out of your system. And with it go the electrolytes. Everyone's told as they get older, you got to drink super pure water because you don't want to harm your kidneys. You can't have anything in the water. It's got to be pure. And you can't have any salt. How many times have people been told, oh, no, salt gives you heart attacks and strokes and cardiovascular disease? Yeah. That's the absolute opposite of that. Table salt and all the garbage salt they put in packaged foods, bad news. Yeah. But the true salt, which are chloride minerals, are the very essence of your body's living being. Your 80% of your body is not water. They've misinformed us. They say 80% of our body is water. Who came up with that bullshit? Honestly.
I feel like I'm drowning sometimes when they say that.
Well, then you're supposed to drink your body weight in so many ounces a day. That's the biggest fallacy ever.
I can create waves when I move back and forth, can I? Maybe.
Well, you're 80% electrolytic fluid. You've got tears, mucus, saliva, blood, lymph, sweat. You're a fluid being. 80% of you is fluid, but it's inside a matrix that you're fully functional, doesn't slosh around at all. And it is full of electrolytes, except for it's not now full of electrolytes, because every time you drink fluid that doesn't have the right amount of electrolytes in it from the ocean only, because all the other ones are garbage. Yeah. You got to get it from the ocean. You're literally a walking ocean. If you cry a tear and taste it, or sweat and taste sweat, it's super salty.
Yeah, silly.
Right. So your body is demanding that level of electrolyte in order to produce clean blood. But when you keep breathing that same garbage every day at 11,000 liters a day, effortlessly, it goes in and fills everything up, so that you're just getting more and more and more behind the eight ball. And here's the problem. You are on a value curve by sharing information in the world, however you produce value in your life, right? Your gifts, your knowledge, and you generate value more as you get older. So people die right when they're producing the maximum value, because their body has gone down now, and now they're going to lose their body. So that terminates them from continuing the journey of being there for everyone around them. Like I look for the last 10 years till now is exponential value. The next 10 years will be the same. And it's not for me so I can be some hero or some, big leader. It's being here for everyone around me to support them to have a better quality of life. But if I'm not having a high quality of life, then I don't know what I'm doing. So the key performance indicator, the KPI, is one thing. Are we getting better in every possible way as we age, or are we getting worse? If we're getting worse, we're on the wrong track. If we're getting better, we're on the right track. So something is literally as simple as just adding, and I make sure this fluid tastes great. I'm not sitting around drinking garbage salt water, right? No, there's ways of making it. Like we have this whole thing coming up right now. We've been working for a couple of years on this to create a super amazingly enjoyable fluid that you can drink and go, that's one of the best drinks I've ever had.
Does it mix well with vodka or tequila? No, I'm just kidding, man. I got to do this.
You can do whatever you want. That's the other thing. Everyone can do what they want to do. So I want to put stuff in my system that makes me feel great, look great, and feel better and look greater.
Yeah.
Right. Because I want to show up for everyone. I want things like brain power goes way up. When you put the electrolytes in, you think about the communication of a circuit board. Circuit boards have silica. They have crystals. They have iodine. Those are elements that you have to have communication transfer for conductivity. Your body's the same way. Your brain is so sophisticated. Your central nervous system, your autonomic nervous system, your gut instinct, your heart passion, all those things are neurological. So those neurological pathways have to communicate really efficiently, which is allowed when you put the crystals from the sea salt into your body. And we make sure we bring it in liquid form. We're also coming up with stuff that you can mix yourself very quickly and easily, so that it's simple, it's super cost effective. People are having to spend thousands of dollars a month, the older they get, if they're wealthy, to stay healthy. And that's completely ridiculous. It should cost the least amount of time, energy, effort, and money in order to have true health once you tap into the reality of what's going on.
There you go. So I noticed when I'm looking across your guys' website, you guys have a lot of products. We talked about how you've manufactured products and stuff. Looks like you're in Vegas too, my favorite lovely hometown. Tell us about some of the ways that you're utilizing the products that are on your website to achieve what we've been discussing so far.
Right. Well, the main product we have is called Oceans Alive. It's a marine phytoplankton. There's two strains of marine phytoplankton that have all the nutritional molecules in it. But the key is it is bathed and supported and suspended in 100 times strength ocean water. So you got all of those essential electrolytes in it that are compatible with your body. They're biological. Just think about your stomach. Your stomach acid is what? It's hydrochloric acid. Chloric being the key. All of the minerals in ocean water are chloride minerals, sodium chloride, magnesium chloride, and so on. And there's like 92 of them. So when you put them into your body, in the concentrated form, like Oceans Alive, we have another one called Trace, which has no marine phytoplankton in it. It's just a larger bottle of the concentrated ocean minerals. We have another product called Ease Magnesium. That is an extract from ocean water in its purest form called magnesium chloride hexahydrate. That you spray on your skin so it instantly goes in the area geographically on your body where you want it.
Oh, really?
Yeah. So it goes right in, and magnesium relaxes your muscles while calcium contracts your muscles. You need both to walk around. What happens is there's not enough magnesium in the food anymore, of course. And so when you put you start going down the road and you have a lot of brain power you're using, or you're doing a lot of physical work, you're burning magnesium as fuel. So people become magnesium deficient. You don't burn calcium for fuel. Calcium is more structural. Magnesium is fuel. So you got to keep your body fueled up. And you don't want to put it into the oral as much as you want to put it into the external, because then your digestive tract gets taxed. And there's a whole bunch of magnesium supplements you can eat, which are fine. They're better than nothing. But the best is to get it through your skin. But it has to be a very specific form to get into your skin. And so we just learned what are the most efficient things that cost the least amount of time, energy, and money to do what you got to do. So that's our three major products. And then we have iodine, perfect iodine. But that's we call it perfect iodine because it's strictly I2 molecular iodine in a gas form that's infused into water that you drink. And it's a super low dose, but it's an extremely high volume. So you don't want to have a high dose of iodine. Your body doesn't want that. It wants small amounts at a time, but it wants a very large volume of that small amount. So you could have a molecule that you can see with your eye, and then you go into a molecule that you have to use a microscope. Then you have a molecule that's nano, which is 1,000 times smaller than micro, and a pico 1,000 times smaller than nano. Then you have a Dalton molecule. A Dalton molecule is, if you take a bottle of iodine and take the cap off and leave the cap off, there will be nothing but pure medical grade water in it after 2 days.
Oh, wow.
The molecules are that light, they just disappear. So you keep the cap on, nothing disappears, and you consume a tablespoon a day, and you'll watch your brain power increase within 2 weeks.
Oh, wow.
See a huge uptick of brain power alone, let alone the fact that you put it into your system and it's carpet bombing all the garbage that you've been breathing, right? Which is, so you want to support your body to efficiently eliminate that stuff so that you no longer have an accumulation at all. It takes about a year to drop the accumulated amount you've been breathing so far down to a manageable amount. So the same amount of garbage you breathe during the day is gone the same day. That's where you want to get to.
Yeah.
Then you're sailing. You're smooth sailing. You don't have to think about being healthy. You simply are.
I know how important magnesium is, and I never thought about taking iodine. So that's educational. No, I'm going to look into this more. I'm looking at your website, and you've got a lot of cool products that are on here too. You also offer affiliate sales too. If people want to, help sell your products and really love them and want to share them with others.
Yes. Yeah, we have a full affiliate program that's tracked to the maximum. We accurately track everything. And we want really good, solid exchanges of energy with everybody involved, because that's how you empower, the world to go out there and learn more, because it costs time, energy, and money to educate people.
Yeah.
We want that to be covered for everyone.
There you go. You've got a lot of different bundles you've set up and different products. There's a lot of interesting stuff with oils. Tell us about some of these oils. You got quite a few oils of flaxseed oil and different things, milk thistle oil. Tell us about some of these and how they work.
Yeah, so oils are something you consume a very small amount of. So all of our oils are extremely pure. There's a full concentration. We don't dilute anything. The most important oil we have is called black cumin seed oil. And that we actually bring those seeds out of India. They're all certified organic and tested to the max to make sure they're the right strain. We have a press technology that doesn't damage it. And all you do is take 1 teaspoon, you put it in your mouth, you swish it for about a minute. That helps your whole dental health majorly.
Oh, really?
Yeah, you gargle it for 15 seconds. That cleans your throat up. And you just swallow it with a glass of water. And that goes in and helps to support healthy digestion, helps to support liver cleaning, kidney function. pancreas. It helps with your pancreas in a major way. And so this is one of those things, very tiny amount. I don't consume seed oils in my diet in food. I watch all the food I eat to make sure there's no seed oils in it. Because the body does not want seed oils in those forms. And they plow so much seed oil into health food, so-called, and every other kind of food. It's just your body just doesn't want that stuff.
Yeah.
But the pure, unadulterated, undamaged oils in small quantities are amazing because they're the type of fats that go in and deliver the nutrients within the oils to your system. It's a delivery system. That's what it works out to. And every cell in your body has a cell membrane that is lipid. It's a lipid membrane. So those are the oils. Now for fats, I consume saturated fats like butter, heavy cream, animal fat. Those are all extremely good for you. And we've been taught that those are bad. Those are bad for your heart and all that misinformation. Well, anyone now in the health space knows that they're good. And they're the things that keep you clean, and they're not a problem with cholesterol. So the scripts have to be flipped, and people have to become aware that there's trillions of dollars of profit in people being unhealthy that are needing remedies.
Definitely.
Our thing is remove the problem entirely. You don't need to remedy anything. That's where we're at.
There you go. Looks like you have vitamins K2 and D3 mixed with some MCT oil, which is, well, most people don't realize you've got to take from my understanding, you correct me because you're the professional here, but if you're taking vitamin D, you got to take vitamin K2 with it to help I think it's the absorption.
Yes. Yeah, it's the driver to put so the D3 goes in and it releases the calcium your body needs, but the calcium will go wherever it wants if it doesn't have a driver. The K2 MK7 drives it into the bones, into the teeth, into the areas where you need the calcium. It's essential. The D3 is another essential nutrient that also seals up in between the cells. It keeps everything healthy so you don't get all the contamination of microbes and different infectious things that can really disturb your system. So that's the only vitamin we have. We have an extra dose of K2 MK7 in another bottle because the RDAs, we have to abide by the rules. So we add a little bit more of the K2 MK7, otherwise they would be taking an over amount of D3. That's just a legal thing, which...
Yeah, you don't want to take too much D, too much vitamin D. So I noticed that a lot of the stuff you have is very liquid form. Yeah. And, sometimes I look at my pills, they're kind of like, it's just ground up whatever and seems maybe a bit dehydrated. Is it better to take these things in the liquid form than say pill structure? Where it's, ground up, dried up stuff that I don't even know if it's got the live stuff in it or not.
Yeah, well, like some pills are okay, but we didn't even plan to make it all liquid. It just happened to be that way because that's the form that it came to us in. And that works the best because your body is a liquid body. You don't have to, it just makes it so much better to assimilate. And it's a bit of a bit more work to use liquid sometimes rather than just pop a pill and drink it.
Yeah.
But it's worth the effort. It takes a little bit longer, not much.
It seems like it would be better for you though, because it's still in the form. Like I said, I look at kind of the dried up pills that I take and I go, I don't know, man, maybe this has been ground up, dried up. And, is it really as effective as not being in like a liquid form? So I don't know.
Yep. I think it is better. I think it can be in some cases a lot better.
Especially with spraying on the skin. We've had like doctors on the show that have talked about, they've had different sprays that they use to put stuff in, what's the skin's the largest, membrane that we have or organ that we have? I flunked medical school, so. Yeah,
well, they say the skin is the largest organ. It turns out the largest organ is your endothelium layer, which is the interior skin on the inside of your blood, all your blood vessels. It's massively huge. But yeah, I mean, the skin is definitely an area, it's called transdermal application. It's a very efficient way of getting things in, but most stuff can't get through the skin. It has to be, set up so that it can be transdermal.
Okay.
Yeah, with our magnesium, we feel it within 90 seconds.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Wow. There you go. Now I notice you have some honeys on here as well. Honey's always, I think, healthy for you. Technically, I mean, it depends on the honey. You know, if you buy some crap out the store, good luck. But tell us about the honey that you have on your guys' website.
The honey is more of a rare thing that we have. We can't get large quantities of it, at least not yet.
Mm-hmm.
I actually was in Greece, where we buy the honey from, in about 2 weeks ago, and I went and I talked to the beekeeper, and I had a big education. He had told me on the phone about it, about 5 years ago. But when I went and spoke to him directly and went to his location and saw how he processes it, and I found out that people take shortcuts continuously.
Oh, wow.
In Greece, there are 3,000 certified organic beekeepers. He told me out of the 3,000, there are 5 beekeepers he knows of in the entire country who do it correctly. Mm-hmm. And what happens is there are all kinds of shortcuts when there's climate change, like too much heat or too cold or whatever it might be. And I'm not talking about climate change they put in the news. I have no interest in that. I'm talking about the conditions. They bring a big truck full of sugar water and they park it near the beehives in the forest, and they feed the hives with the sugar water, and the bees make honey.
Oh, wow.
That's a massive shortcut.
Yeah,
it does not give you any kind of health benefits whatsoever. In fact, I think it's bad for you.
Probably.
But true honey, tree honey, which is what we have, comes from the mountains, the Pintus Mountains, and the bees go out and they bring it into the hive, and you have to make sure that honey never goes above 40 degrees centigrade. It doesn't go above like 105, 106 degrees Fahrenheit. Because when it does, it wrecks the enzymatic quality of the honey. So this honey we have is very thick, has various different tastes to it. Some of it even has a bit of a sour taste to it. But it's 4 times more medicinal than Manuka out of New Zealand.
Oh, really?
Yep. And there's no shortcuts taken whatsoever. And when it's transported from Greece to whatever country it's going to, it's made sure to be in temperature-controlled environment. Because you could go through all that effort and all that work and then wreck your honey on the way to the destination. Oh, wow. And I think, and just because it says raw honey on the bottle does not guarantee any quality.
Wow.
Yeah,
that's good to know.
Yeah. Yeah, you just got to know who the beekeepers are. That's why we don't have a whole lot of it right now. I would love to be able to purchase all of the supply from the 5 beekeepers in Greece. We're working on that. But more importantly, get a hold of beekeepers wherever they are and make sure that they're putting it through the process. One of the coolest ways to ensure it, if you're local and you know that the beekeeper is not feeding it sugar water, you get the comb itself, the honeycomb, cut a chunk off of it and consume it. It has the guaranteed raw honey, no dilution, no damage. It's got bee propolis and bee pollen and the wax. And you eat the whole thing and swallow the wax and everything. That's the ultimate.
That sounds like, that's really good. So let's see. I've gone through most of the products. What is Solaris? I see and Perfect Uric on here.
Right.
Tell us a little bit about that.
Yeah. So Solaris is a formula that I stumbled on about 8 years ago. And it is an Ayurvedic formula of clove, rosemary, and thyme. And anybody can go get clove, rosemary, and thyme, but that's not going to do it. This is a special extract from the entire plant.
Oh, wow. It's
put together in a formula that's so strong that if you put just a couple of drops under your tongue, it'll freeze your mouth.
Oh, wow.
And that's why you don't do that. You just put it in water and drink it.
There you
go. It also goes on externally. But what that does is it goes and it converts any of the foreign substances in your body that can be harmful, like heavy metals or fungus, and it converts them to an inert material. It just neutralizes them. And then your body can expel them a lot more efficiently. So that one ties into the blood purification as well as the, your intracellular clarification. It's a really powerful product.
And then there's the Perfect Uric acid. Isn't that for like people who suffer from gout? When you have a buildup of uric acid and stuff?
Right. Well, gout is one of the symptoms of uric acid overload.
Yeah.
Now, your body needs uric acid. It just needs a little bit of it. And when people eat foods that are high in purines, your body has an enzyme that extracts the purines out of the food. So if you eat a lot of red meat, which people love red meat, they're going to get a high amount of uric acid from extracting it from the purines. And it's too much. Their body can't process it. And the older they get, the more they get, until they get arthritis in their joints. It tears up the kidneys. And it also goes, if you've got gout, you're a very advanced uric acid problem because the crystals form around the big toe joint. And it just puts pressure, and it's like razor blades attacking the joint.
Yeah.
So what the perfect uric is a simple herbal formula, part of the triphala formula, that blocks the enzyme that you would normally extract uric acid out of purines.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. So it's a very cool thing. So that's for people who are eating high purine foods.
My mom suffers from gout really bad. She's 80. She suffers from really bad, and I know it's not fun for her. So you've got a lot of great products that are on here. You've been doing this for, I think, 16 years. Do I have that correct?
We're in our 17th year right now.
17th year. Okay. Yeah. And you're kind of like me. I'm rounding up a little bit. I'm like, we're in our 14th year, and that's end of August, I think, or September. I think it's the end of August. And then I'll just, I don't know, I won't start rounding probably for 6 months, but, and so you guys have been doing this a long time. You've had a chance to perfect this. Do you distribute your products around the world, or can only like US and Canada, Mexico maybe get them, or, what's your distribution network?
Well, right now we're in Canada where we manufacture it. Most of our markets in the US. We opened up in Australia 5 years ago.
Oh, there you go.
Yeah. And we just opened up in the UK for the first time. That took several years to get all the certifications just to be able to export into that country, that continent. And then we are also opening up in Europe in about 6 months from now.
Well, there you go. There you go. So people can order it up, get it shipped to them. You've got subscriptions where you can get it in it more expensive. That's usually how I buy stuff. I buy the subscriptions because if I like it, I'm going to use it. What haven't we touched or talked on about your guys' companies, the products, and stuff like that we can tell people as we go out? So
the one thing I think people should do is whenever they're looking at investing their money in themselves, they got to just take their time, start it with a couple of things, and make sure they search it to get the best possible price. Because if you get a bundle, you can definitely get better pricing. The subscription model is definitely good. And then the follow-up, we have customer service that's live. It's not like when they phone in, they get a live person.
Oh, really? Nice.
And the other component that we are in the process right now of creating is a definitive course that is very easy to follow, so that people can get their own heads around. The one thing that I found that people will start to do something and they won't continue because they don't know why. They're being told what to do. Oh, look at this cool new product. Try this. And so they do try it, but they don't follow through because they didn't even get the why. So the courses are all about, why are you going to do this? What? Make sure that when you're investing in yourself, you're getting a really good return on the investment. Our job is to make sure you get that. So that's why the courses are coming up, and we're creating a community as well, so people can feed back into it and ask any question they want. And we want as many questions as possible because everybody's in a different level and state and situation, and they're all unique. So we want to make sure we're creating an environment where they can get access to the information. The information is the most valuable thing. And the products are complementary to support their body's ability to produce the things they need to do.
There you go. I've been on a journey not quite like yours, because you had a timeline, a gun up against your head, and trying to survive. But my journey's been a little bit slower since 2015. I started trying to eat healthier and pay attention to what's going on in my body. In 2020, I quit drinking alcohol altogether, not because I had a problem. It's so funny when you tell people I quit drinking, I don't drink anymore. And they're like, oh, you had a problem? You're like, no, I got tired of like, okay, I'm going to have 2 hours of fun drinking on Friday night and party up, boys. And then like 3 days later, my body's like, fuck you. Welcome to bloating, loss of electrolytes, dehydration, feeling lethargic, brain fog. Have fun with that for 3 days, buddy. Let's just keep doing that. And my body at 53 was just like, fuck you. We're not doing this with you anymore. We're going to make it very painful for you. And we're going to punish the shit out of you for your little 2 hours of fun. And finally, after enough hangovers, I just, it got to the point with my age and probably a lot of what we talked about here today, what I've, the shit I put in my body, it just reaches a point where it just was painful. And I'm just like 2 hours of pain. And, and I think it was part of it is too, as I started becoming more healthy and started really listening to my body, going, what's going on with this? I called a friend and I said, man, I'm having the worst hangovers. I'm having a bad time. I'm drinking one beer and getting a hangover. He goes, dude, your electrolytes are all fucked up. He goes, do you understand what's going on? I'm like, what are electrolytes? And, I had no idea. And so this is why what you're talking about is really important, to get the training, to get the education, and, start learning what's going on with your body. Because if you don't know, then you end up like me, like we started at the beginning of the show. Don't be like Chris. Please don't. And when I meet people, I see them drinking Mountain Dew, I'm like, please stop doing that. And they're like, why? And I'm like, I'm the end product right here. 10 to 15 Mountain Dews a day for 30, 40 years. Don't be like me. So I love how you guys are going to put education out there. You've got a YouTube channel as well, we should probably plug. And then I think you've got a Twitter, Instagram, Facebook, LinkedIn, where people can check out stuff. I noticed on your YouTube channel, you've got some videos up that are helping people to educate them.
Yeah, we're just building the YouTube channel up right now. So there's going to be a whole ton of new videos coming out in the next month and a half.
Cool.
Yep.
Yeah. The more you know, and people will spend so much money on so much stupid crap. I mean, I know I do on Amazon. I was over there today. But they won't buy stuff for their health or take care of their health, or, they're like, well, I got to have a new basket, or I don't know, whatever you want to do. I don't want to shame people that buy baskets or whatever the hell you're buying on Amazon, but spend some money on your health, for Christ's sake. Once it's gone, once you've blown it, it's really hard to claw your way back. I mean, I've lost a lot of weight and I'm still trying to lose weight, and intermittent fasting every day and stuff. But, after you've had a little too many, few too many parties in your life, as I have, it takes some time. You don't bounce back overnight like you do when you're 20.
Right.
There you go. Anything more you want to pitch as we go out and round out the show?
Well, I would tell everybody to build your enthusiasm as much as you can, and also build some courage. There's one thing we didn't talk about today, which is how to fix your structural being. A lot of us guys, we get injured from sports or from industrial accidents or whatever, just doing things. And I had major injuries that I was able to repair completely myself, which would otherwise require knee replacements. And I have like totally youthful, full function knees, where by the time I was 60, I was in such a situation, I didn't know what I was going to do. But I found a way to do it naturally. It's a very interesting technique. But I'm putting a course together on that, so people can stay tuned for that. But the biggest is you got to know why you're doing what you're doing. That when you get results, you get really enthusiastic with it. And the enthusiasm builds momentum. And then there may be a little bit of suffering here and there, but that's okay, because you go through that and the reward is feeling great. So just press forward, take responsibility for your own body. Don't blame anybody else. Don't blame yourself. Just take responsibility. Find what the keys are. Put the keys in the lock, unlock them, and let your body do its thing, which it will naturally do on its own. All you got to do is support that.
There you go. The more you know. I mean, like I said, I feel better than ever. Quitting drinking was good for me. Electrolytes, magnesium, potassium, all the stuff you're supposed to take. Good multivitamin. I didn't think I really took a multivitamin until I was about like 45 or something. Like I was just kind of winging it. Of course, there was probably a lot of, in all the foods I was eating, there's probably some multivitamins. I feel so much healthier now. I probably feel better now than I felt in most of my life, because I was eating so much garbage. Even though I was younger, I was just eating so much garbage and living completely unhealthy. I mean, half a bottle of vodka a night, I didn't even realize how much vitamins and electrolytes and stuff was, that's just flushing out of my system. And then I wake up the next morning going, why do I feel like shit? And you're like, well, you did it yourself, dummy. But a lot of people don't get educated on this stuff until it's too late. And then, you've got a doctor looking at you. going, yeah, you might have done some things here. So there you go. Well, this has been very insightful, Ian. Thank you very much for coming on the show. We really appreciate it.
Yeah, well, thanks for having me on, Chris. It's been it's been cool.
There you go. Give us the .com one more time so people can check out and order up your products on the website.
So it's activationproducts.com.
There you go. And then can people reach out to you guys? You said you have a live customer service, so people can probably reach out to you if they want to know more.
Yes, that's right. And also, just tap into the community. Mm-hmm. We have an email list as well that we share a lot of great information on. Mm-hmm. And so we have about 200,000 subscribers in our email list that constantly get fed information through there.
There you go. And I just joined myself. So check it out, folks. Check out their website. I've been getting a chance to go through it. I know most of you are probably listening on the audio version of our show, but check it out at activationproducts.com. They've got a lot of really cool stuff here. The healthier you are, the more you feel better, the more your brain works, the more your body works. I can't attest to you how much better my life has been. When I tell people I feel better at 55 than at any time in my life, and I feel more like a decent human being, I go to the gym now, which I didn't do for most of my life. You feel so much better, and you wake up and you're like, wow, I'm really enjoying life. And you got a clear head. You can be present more. I highly endorse it. And I don't endorse the 20 years of drinking I did. Stop doing that, people. Anyway, thanks to my audience for tuning in. Thanks to Ian for being here. Go to goodreads.com/Chris Voss, youtube.com/Chris Voss, linkedin.com/Chris Voss, all those crazy places we are on the internet. Thanks for tuning in. Be good to each other and be good to yourself, damn it. Thanks for tuning in. We'll see you guys next time. All right.